Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual. You guys know the deal on the channel. It's all about setting the record straight, man. Stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, I want to talk about some of the comments that Redick made. You know, his back and forth with Charles Barkley and him blaming, content creators and blaming, the media or blaming some other people, basically blaming us, blaming the true basketball fans on the problems with the NBA and why the NBA is not as popular as it once was. He's literally trying to blame everything else under the sun except for pointing the finger at themselves. They're the problem. It's not us. It's not the content creators. It's not us on the social media space. And I'm going to, do this video from that angle, because I'm a content creator and I'm one of the true basketball fans that have been standing up to these clowns like Redick, who does not care about the NBA. He doesn't care about the NBA. So it's really ironic that he tries to place blame on others when he should be placing blame on himself. We're going to talk about this video, guys. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states that's been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly, truly humbled by all support, man. It really means a lot, guys. So thank you to all the true basketball fans that are standing up, man. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, excuse me for a second. So, guys, like I said, man, we want to talk about some comments, or we want to talk about Redick, man, in general. And the back and forth with Charles Barkley, some of the comments that he's made. A lot of you guys have been asking me to speak on this or to touch on this. And I've seen a lot of people do videos on this. It's been going around. And, Redick, he's been exposed, man. He's been getting completely destroyed out here in social media. And, I mean, really, it's been the facts, right? People have been telling the facts about Redick. And remember, when he first came to L.A., everybody was making a big deal about Redick. And, him coaching the Lakers, and he's a savant of basketball, and he knows so much about the game. He's got this high IQ and blah, 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 blah. He knows X's and O's. He knows all this stuff, man. This is what they were saying, right, coming into the season. Then the Lakers started off 3-0, right? And then all of a sudden, Redick was, being mentioned with the all-time great coaches. Once again, being celebrated for doing literally nothing. And then what did we see from Redick? The Lakers started to play some road games, right? They started to lose some games. And Redick started to show his true colors. He started to get all emotional out there in these post-game press conferences. This guy looks like a complete goof out there in these post-game press conferences. It's actually laughable the way that Redick talks, the way that he addresses the media. It's actually laughable. Because wasn't it Redick not too long ago who himself was a media member? He was in the media. He had a podcast. Right? He was doing broadcasts for the NBA games. He was doing all this stuff. And when Redick makes these comments to Charles Barkley, or he's talking in generalities about why the game is not as popular or why the game is going downhill, and he tries to blame the storytelling, he tries to make it seem as if people are not telling the story, or that people are just tearing down the NBA, and he tries to blame the media, or he tries to blame people, in social media. Like I said, the content creators. Like I said, I want to talk from the perspective of a content creator, because that's what I am. How dare this clown? You often hear me tell you guys what? The true basketball fans are standing up. This is what I say a lot, guys, right? I tell you the true basketball fans. I don't say the true NBA fans. I often tell you guys it's the true basketball fans that are standing up. Because it's not about us being fans of the NBA. The NBA is a league. I told you guys, there's no NBA without the fans. The NBA is a league, man. The NBA is not basketball. Basketball is basketball. Basketball is a sport. The NBA is a league that these guys get paid to play that sport. But you can play basketball anywhere, guys. The sport of basketball is what we are fans of, guys. Fans of that. Right there, that's from the start, guys. That's what everyone should be, and that's why we clown these fools. These guys are supposed to love this game. They're supposed to be fans of basketball. But all of a sudden now, these guys act as if they were never fans of basketball. They just started playing basketball just to play it. So once again, this goes in line to what I'm telling you guys. If these guys were not 6 feet tall, 7 feet tall, 6'9", 6'8", if they were not this tall, if they didn't have these kinds of, genetic blessings, these guys wouldn't be playing basketball. They would not be playing basketball because they don't give a damn about basketball. They don't care. Redick does not care about basketball. He doesn't care. He cares about the NBA, maybe, because he gets paid from the NBA. He doesn't get paid for basketball. He gets paid for the league that they play in. Remember, if there was no league, if no one watched basketball, there were no fans of basketball, there were no teams, no owners, there was no money in it, there would be no NBA. Basketball would still be around, but there would be no NBA. These professional leagues, organizations to pay these guys professionally to play a sport. So when JJ Redick talks about, we're the ones tearing the game down because we're not telling the story, or we're just, trashing the game. Oh, this is why no one wants to watch it, because every time you turn it on or you turn on social media, they're tearing it down. So why would anybody want to watch it? And then he starts talking about the casual fan. You sound ridiculous. Once again, JJ Redick won't take any accountability for the comments that he's made in the past, for the way that he's tore down the NBA's history, the history of the NBA, the history of basketball, guys. So you guys remember some years back, remember Bob Cousy had to come out and basically shut down JJ Redick. He had to basically tell him, dude, shut the hell up. Who are you? You're nobody to be talking about us this way, to be talking about our era this way. You don't know a damn thing what you're talking about. And those were the facts. Bob Cousy was on the money. And the irony behind it was Bob Cousy was like 90-something years old. You'll never even hear from Bob Cousy. People thought that he was dead. And he came out to shut down JJ Redick because of the disrespectful ways that JJ Redick was talking about these past eras, man. He's the one tearing down the NBA's history. He's the one tearing down basketball history. He's the one doing that. Kendrick Perkins, Colin Cowherd, JJ Redick, Nick Wright. All these guys do on the media is tear down the NBA's history because they're not fans of basketball. They don't give a damn about basketball, the history of the NBA. Do you think they give a damn about the history? No. They're only there to make money. That's all these guys are there for. They're there for views and for money, guys. They're not there to educate you or give you the facts so that you can form an educated opinion off of it. They don't want you to have that. They want you to have the same emotional opinions as them. So Shannon Sharp wants you to be emotional and have his opinion. So he's going to give you all kinds of weird, twisted narratives and lies and try to bend reality so that you feel what he's saying is right. Same thing for Nick Wright. Same thing for Colin Cowherd. Remember, it was Colin Cowherd that was tearing down the 92 Dream Team. How is that good for the NBA and for basketball's history for you to tear down its greatest team? The 92 Dream Team are recognized by most people, guys, as the greatest assembly of basketball talent in the history of the game, guys. That's just the facts, man. That's just the way that they're recognized. They earned that recognition by the way they went out there and played the game. But now all these years later, Colin Cowherd would tell you that the 92 Dream Team wasn't good. They had nobody that could shoot on that team. He literally said they had no shooters. He tried to make it seem like this past iteration of the Dream Team or the Olympic team was far superior to the 92 Dream Team. You heard what these guys were saying about the 92 Dream Team this past summer. They were tearing it down every chance they got. But once again, they weren't giving you the facts. They were lowering the standard for these guys to make it seem like they were greater than those guys. They couldn't shoot. Larry Bird couldn't shoot. John Stockton couldn't shoot. Michael Jordan couldn't shoot. Patrick Ewing couldn't shoot. Chris Mullin couldn't shoot. I'm confused when they say these guys couldn't shoot. It doesn't add up. So once again, they tear down the past with lies and their own narratives, bending of reality. So how does that show that you really appreciate basketball's history or you love the game? How is that going to make people watch the game? Because what ends up happening in turn by these guys tearing down the past eras, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, right? By them doing this, what does that do? That forces us, people like me, the true basketball fans, to come out and set the record straight against these clowns. But when we're setting the record straight, it sounds as if we're tearing down these guys today, but that's not the case. What we're doing is we're holding a standard, guys. We're holding these guys to a same standard. These guys today, the media, people like Colin Cowherd, people like Nick Wright, people like JJ Redick, they have lowered the standard. So what do? They tear down past eras by saying the guys today are so much greater because the guys back in the day weren't that skilled. They weren't skilled. So Bob Cousy had no skills. So they'll make fun of the way he dribbled. How is that celebrating the NBA's history? How is that celebrating basketball? How is that telling the story of NBA? Remember, JJ Redick was talking about, oh, no, we got to do a better job of telling the story of the NBA. We got to do a better job of promoting the NBA. Dude, what are you talking about? You guys are promoting the era of NBA. You're promoting these clowns today by tearing down the past. That doesn't help the NBA. How is that helping the league? Why would that make a casual fan want to watch the game? Because what a casual fan's going to find out is that the basketball that you're watching today is not on the level of the basketball that was being played in other eras, guys. Those are the facts, man. That's the cold, hard truth here. That's the reality. And that's the reason why the game has lost its popularity. It ain't got nothing to do with us. It ain't got a damn thing to do with us. It has everything to do with the players that are on the court not giving no damn effort, load managing, flopping around, chucking up all these threes, not playing a lick of defense, not having any physicality in the game, no rivalries, no true professionals. Right? These guys are not grown men. Who wants to watch a bunch of teenage kids goof around out there on the court? That's basically what we're getting now. A bunch of, immature kids out there. Guys that have been in the league for all these years, never matured. They never developed. These guys are a bunch of clowns. They're only out there for the money. They don't care about basketball, guys. JJ Redick doesn't care about basketball. The guys today don't care about basketball, but he's going to talk about we're tearing the league down. Why would anybody want to watch the game when every time you hear people are tearing it down? No, we're holding it to a standard. You fools are tearing it down. You're the clowns trying to tear down the past eras. JJ Redick, the same guy. Oh, Michael Jordan playing the watered-down expansion league. Watered-down expansion league? Then what the hell is this era? What is this? If Michael Jordan played in a watered-down expansion league, then what the hell are we witnessing today? It's an absolute joke, man. Once again, JJ Redick has been tearing down the NBA's history at every chance that he got. When this guy was on his podcast, that lame podcast that he had, Old Man in the Three, I think it's called. I would never watch this stuff. But all he does is tear down past eras. These guys love to tear down the 90s because that's Michael Jordan's era. It's not a coincidence, guys. They attacked the era of the most popular player, the golden era. Think about how that sounds. You're going after the most popular era in the NBA's history. That shows that you don't care about the game. Why would you not be celebrating the 90s, celebrating the 80s, celebrating the 50s and the 60s? You're not celebrating this stuff. Every chance you fools get, you tear these guys down. Oh, they weren't great athletes. Those guys couldn't dribble. Those guys couldn't shoot like today. What? Yeah, they could. Those guys had better fundamentals back in the day. Why don't you talk about the fundamentals of those players back in the day and why they had fundamentals as opposed to these clowns today that are only playing 1 year in college, not learning anything, not developing anything, not learning a team concept, none of this stuff. Coming to the NBA and they still need to develop because they didn't develop in college. So they come into the NBA and they got to wait 3-4 years for these guys to develop. It's an absolute joke, man. These guys coming out here, everyone's playing the same game. And JJ Redick's going to blame us for why the game is not popular? The game is not popular because these players are not popular, because their games are not popular. They have no swag. They got no personalities. They got no style. Everyone plays the same game. It's all cookie-cutter game. Who wants to watch this? You think you're going to attract a casual fan to this kind of basketball? Who wants to watch this? This is what I was telling you guys back in the day, 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, when I was growing up watching the game. The reason why the casual fan could come into the game is because the game was so balanced. There were different things that you could latch onto. Like I said, maybe you like defense. Maybe you like the lower scoring games. Maybe you like guys who are playing defense, giving that effort, being gritty and just out there hustling, diving on the floor. Maybe that's what you like. So that was a great time for you because you had that. Maybe you like the running up and down, the running gun offenses. Yeah, I had that too. Maybe you liked high flyers. You just wanted to see guys go out there and slam dunk the basketball. You had that. Maybe you liked the three-point shooters. You wanted to see some guys chuck up some threes. You had that. Maybe you wanted to see coaching strategies, schemes, full court presses, half court traps, guys running in systems. You had that. My goodness, man, now you don't. Now everyone is chucking up threes. No one's playing any defense like that consistently. Guys are load managing, so you can't even tune on the game and hope that you're going to see your favorite player. Because that's how you bring in casual fans. If Michael Jordan was bringing in casual fans in the 90s to basketball, how do you think he was doing this? He was doing it based off of his game, but also because he was showing up to work. Michael Jordan couldn't be who he was. All these other guys couldn't bring in the fans if they weren't showing up to work. If they were never on the court, if they were load managing, only playing 60 games a season like these guys are doing today, then the game wouldn't have been as popular because the guys would have never been there. You wouldn't be able to bring in the casual fan because every time the casual fan turned the TV on, that player wasn't there. JJ Redick won't mention this. Those guys earn that because they show up to work. That's why it's the golden era. So JJ Redick can't blame us, and him and Charles Barkley can keep going back and forth because JJ Redick looks stupid. Everything that Charles Barkley has said has been on the money. On the money. And last night was more the same. You see the Lakers can't be a quality team. J.J. Redick hasn't coached the Lakers to one quality win this season, guys. Not one quality win, guys. Not one. Charles Barkley's usually right about this kind of stuff, man. J.J. Redick, he just sounds like an idiot, man. Because once again, he tries to make it seem like he don't care. Oh, I don't care what Charles Barkley has to say. I don't. Dude, yes, you do. You're a clown. You always got something to say. And you constantly say stupid things. Trying to blame the social media content creators, blaming other people. Dude, you are the problem. You're the problem. What you were doing in the media when you were on your podcast, LeBron James, and you guys mind the game, all you guys did was tear down past errors. All you guys do is make jokes and clown other errors. Talk about how great these guys are today, how skilled this era is today. Oh, these guys are the most skilled players. Where's the evidence of it? There's no evidence of it. You guys tear down the 92 Dream Team. They say they weren't playing anybody. How come the players in the past, they didn't play anybody? They never played against anybody, but the guys today are playing against players? They're playing against TikTokers, man. Dudes in dresses, soft-ass kids. I told you, a bunch of teenagers out there, a bunch of immature kids out there on the court. Ain't no grown men out there, man. Are you kidding me? Michael Jordan, the guys I grew up watching were grown men. They were professionals. They carried themselves like professionals. These guys are a bunch of goofy kids, man. A bunch of TikTokers. That's all they are. They're not real men. They're not professionals. J.J. Redick is the same. He's not a professional, J.J. Redick. You think he's a professional? I mean, a professional. Look at the way he talks. He cannot even speak in a post-game press conference. He's squinting his eyes. That's how J.J. Redick is ready to answer a question, as if he's going to give you some profound answer, as if someone asked him to solve the world's hardest equation. They ask him a simple question, there goes J.J. Redick, man. Dude's a straight clown. You guys know that these are the facts. It's J.J. Redick and people like J.J. Redick in the media, on their podcasts, these ex-players, these current players. They're the problem. Draymond Green, Paul George, these clowns with their podcasts, Gilbert Arenas, all these goofs out here. They'll come out there and they'll just say a bunch of nonsense because they're only out there looking for views and money. They don't care about the game. How is Gilbert Arenas helping the game by tearing down Michael Jordan or making up stories about Kobe Bryant or lying about this guy, lying about that guy, pumping up LeBron James, not holding any of these guys to a standard? He won't hold LeBron James to that same standard. So he'll talk trash about Kobe or say X, Y, and Z about Kobe, but he won't hold the same standard for LeBron James? It's an absolute joke, man. Gilbert Arenas doesn't know the history of the game. He says he does, but he doesn't. And he proves it every time he speaks. Gilbert Arenas is a goof, man. He's a straight clown. He's not a grown man. He wasn't a professional, Gilbert Arenas. He doesn't know what a professional is. So he'll just talk on the microphone, tear these guys down, and he'll give you no facts. J.J. Redick sounds ridiculous, man, because J.J. Redick doesn't care about basketball. He don't care about the history of basketball, none of this stuff. And that's why Bob Cousy checked him. Because J.J. Redick was saying nonsense about Will Chamberlain and Bill Russell, just the era of the 60s, calling them plumbers and taxi cab drivers. But J.J. Redick will never tell you that there were a lot of guys that were actually war veterans, war heroes. He won't mention that these guys were fighting in wars, that they gave up parts of their career to go to the military. He won't talk to you about Paul Arizin and how he spent years in the Marines in the Korean War. He won't talk to you about Paul Arizin, the Hall of Famer, one of the all-time greats. He won't mention him. He'll just say, oh, these guys are plumbers. They were driving taxis around. No, a lot of those guys were actually war veterans, man. They were heroes. They were grown men. Bottom line, they were grown men. They were true professionals. These guys work 2-3 jobs to support themselves, to support their families, and J.J. Redick wants to knock these guys for that? He wants to knock them for that? So everyday people like me and you who don't play basketball professionally, if we want to go out and play basketball in a league or go play for fun in a rec center, right? Is that supposed to be something that we can't do because we work a regular job on the side too? You can't play basketball and work a regular job? There's some kind of knock against that? See, once again, this is an elitist mentality. J.J. Redick looks down on common folks. He looks down on people like me and you, man. We're nobodies to people like LeBron James and J.J. Redick, man. That's why I always tell you guys, they don't respect the commoners. He looks down on people like me and you. People who have to work blue-collar jobs. He makes it seem as if being a taxi cab driver or a plumber or some kind of, construction worker or something. Like anyone who has a blue-collar job that has to work with their hands or bust their butt every day to earn a living, he acts like that's beneath him. Like, you're nobody because you do that. Oh, look at you guys. You got to work a regular job. Ha, ha, ha. What? So what if those guys were professional basketball players and had to work side jobs? If anything, that makes them greater, in my opinion. Once again, could you imagine J.J. Redick having to work a regular full-time job, having to do some kind of manual labor, like a plumber? Could you imagine J.J. Redick having to be a plumber? He couldn't do a job like that. He could not do it. J.J. Redick grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. He don't know nothing about hard work and dedication and getting your hands dirty and earning your living like a plumber, like a taxi cab driver, or any of these other occupations out here in the world where people got to wake up and go to work every day. How dare J.J. Redick talk down to people like that? And once again, make it seem like these guys weren't true professionals or great basketball players because they had to work a side job, some of these guys. And why did they have to work a side job? Because they weren't getting paid the money these clowns are getting paid today. And they still went out there, played all the games, gave the effort, dealt with heckling, dealt with racism, dealt with a worse world to live in, a lot harder world to live in, a like harsher world than what these soft guys are dealing with today. And they still went out there and competed. That's why I will never put these clowns today in the same sentence as those guys. It ain't the same, y'all. And that's what J.J. Redick is missing. He's a clown. He's the problem, not us. We're true fans standing up and setting the record straight. We're standing up for the past eras. I didn't see these guys in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s play, but I felt obligated to stand up and set the record straight, not just for the 80s and the 90s, the guys I grew up watching, but for the other guys in the past. Because they tear these guys down as if they weren't athletes, as if anybody could play in the NBA back in the day. My dad didn't get to the NBA. They act like anyone could walk off the street and make it to the NBA back in them days. It's insane for them to say this. Those guys were great athletes. They were professionals. And they were held to a higher standard, man. And that's a sad reality. They were held to a higher standard than these guys are today, man. You guys know what to do, man. J.J. Redick is the problem, not us. We're standing up to these guys. We're here because of people like him. I wouldn't need to be here and make videos if guys would keep their integrity and keep the facts to facts, but they want to keep tearing down past errors to try to bend reality and rewrite history, then we're going to be able to stand up, guys. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.